Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. I'm here today with another box because it is Wednesday. I'm struggling to get this box recorded. I don't know what's going on with me in boxes today, but I'm saying the wrong measurements and it's going to be confusing. So this is my last take. All of the measurements in the description box are correct. Um, So pay attention to those because I'm struggling. All right, so I need a box. I'm in a swap that's due tomorrow. That's why I'm struggling, because I'm stressing. And you had to have a little trinket box. And so of course I was going to make my own trinket box. I had these little containers from Amazon. I bought them like 5 or 6 years ago. I don't have the link. You can just go into Amazon and type in empty 1.5 inch by 1.5 inch containers. A billion of them pop up in different quantities and whatnot, so you can search that yourself. But again, they're 1.5 inch by 1.5 inch. And so what we're going to do, let me get a paper too, so that's not distracting, because sometimes you get distracted by looking at the other page. We're going to measure them. So, and yes, I know this is barely in frame down here, but I'm just using that to measure. I'll do everything up here. And if my volume is low, I'm sorry. I don't know why it's been doing that. Like just randomly, I have not changed anything because you guys know I barely know how to use my equipment. So I don't know why the volume on some videos is super loud and then on other ones, it's like barely a whisper. So I definitely apologize for that, and I don't know why. So I don't know how to fix it. So just kind of bear with me with these growing pains, I guess. Okay, back to the project. So my left to right is going to be 5 3/4. My up and down is 1.5, and my thickness, it's going to be 3/4 of an inch. Okay. So, oh, by the way, we are using my purple book, the pizza box style box template, the purple one. If you haven't picked this one up, you can pick it up on Amazon. The links are in the description box. I do have 3 different books. The yellow one is our lidded boxes, and the pink one is the fold flat. So there you go. Okay. All right. So I do know all of these need to be 3 3/4 of an inch. Yeah. Okay. My left to right is 5 3/4. My up and down is 1.5. Up and down 1.5. Okay, let's get our pens out. Different colors. We're gonna do left to right first. Left to right is 3 measurements. Your left, your middle, your right. So calculator, because I can't, I'm not doing it in my head right now. 0.75 plus 5.75 plus 0.75 equals 7 1/4. If you can't turn your fractions into decimals, just go to Google on your phone and type in your fractions and it will tell you. I just know these decimals. So this is not a math class. It's not, make it easy on yourself. If it's easier for you to turn it into decimals and do it like this, do it like this. If it's easier for you to type it in Google as a fraction, type it in Google as a fraction. Be kind to yourself. Yes, that is my 2024 motto, be kind to yourself, because we are very hard on ourselves and we mean girl ourselves all the time. Anyway, up and down measure, we need 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 0.75 plus 1.5 plus 0.75 plus 1.5 plus 0.75 equals 5 and a quarter. Okay. Right, so now let's go ahead and math out our, yeah, I don't know, our measurements. Okay, long side is the pink side, so that's going to be 3/4. So 0.75 plus 5.75 equals 6.5. Okay, so 3/4 and 6.5. Our short side is our blue side, so that's, you're looking for these lines right here. So 3/4, that's that line. So 0.75 plus 1.5 equals 2.25 plus 0.75 equals 3 plus 1.5 equals 4.5. Okay, so that's what we need to do. Now, you can follow your measurements exactly, or you can do it how I'm about to show you, the shortcut way. I'm using Stampin' Up! Basic Black. You can get 2 boxes out of one 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. How you're going to cut your paper for that, you're going to go on the short side and cut that to 7.5. And then you're going to, on the long side, you're going to cut it at 5.25. Okay. I already have one piece cut, so I don't need 2 pieces, and so that's why I didn't make that first cut. But if you need 2 boxes, that's how you're going to do it. So 5.25 by 7.5. All right. All right, so I have my 2 pieces of paper. So what I'm doing is I'm just gonna score it at 3/4 of an inch on all 4 sides, because I already know all 4 sides are going to be 3/4 of an inch. Or you can absolutely follow the measurements that we wrote down, whichever is easier for you. In my head, it's easier to do it this way, which is weird because all my other boxes, I follow the measurements. I don't know why. All right, so on the long side, we did 3 3/4, and 6.5 is already done. Okay, maybe let me see, 0.75 plus 5.75 equals 6.5. Okay, whatever. On the short side, 3 3/4, or excuse me, 3/4 of an inch, 2.25, 3, and this last one should be 4.5, which it is. Why is this one measuring wonky? Whatever, it worked out. Okay, so let me get some scissors. Okay, because I told you I cut it wrong. It's 7.25 is the measurement. Again, follow the measurements in the description box. Those are always right. Okay, so 7.25, and I have written there. See, I'm going to keep that in this video because I'm tired of doing this video, and because I want you to see that it is okay. You're going to make mistakes. I do these boxes every single week, and obviously I mismeasured my paper. I knew something was wrong because my measurements didn't work, and I know my math is right. If you want to do it the long way, you can go ahead and follow the measurements. Make sure your paper is cut 7.25 by 5 1/4. Okay, and then on the long side, 3/4 and 6 1/2. Okay, short side, 3/4, 2 1/4, 3, and 4 1/2. Okay, so see, either way, you're gonna get the same results. Okay, I'm gonna use this one where I did an oopsie daisy on. I'm still going to use this because the double score line is on the flaps I'm gonna cut off, so I don't care how that looks. You know what I mean? You're gonna cut those off anyway. So don't throw it away. Just remember which line you need to cut on, score on, and cut on. All right, I am gonna go ahead and burnish, however you say that word, the lines, because this is black paper, so I know it's going to be a little bit harder for you to see. All right, okay. So put your paper with the short side at the top. We're going to take our scissors, and we are just going to, oh my God. It is time for bed, people. We're just going to cut up to that first score line on all of these vertical score lines, okay? Now, on the pizza style box, you never alter your rectangles, okay? So you have rectangles and squares. You're only going to alter your squares, okay? So, on my squares, I'm going to miter, just take off a tiny bit of the bulk, skip my rectangle, miter, take off a little bit of the bulk. That's optional. I didn't cut this very well. Okay. Again, my last square, miter, cut off the bulk. Okay. There we go. What you do to the bottom, you need to do to the top. Okay. Flip it around. Cut up all your score lines. Basically, our job, what we're doing right now, is cutting the score lines out, if that makes sense. Okay. Now, again, we're going to alter our squares. Doesn't matter which side you start from. Miter, cut the bulk. Skip the rectangle, go to your square. Miter, cut the bulk. Skip the rectangle, go to your square. Yes, I do say this when I'm crafting by myself, because sometimes you need expert advice. All right. So now I'm going to flip mine this way. If you have directional paper, you need to pay attention to your direction. If not, then don't worry about it. If you have directional paper, you need to decide what is your top and what is your bottom. I don't have time for that, so I usually just use cardstock. Oh, my glue is clogged, and I don't know where my needle is. Oh, that's awesome. Okay, hopefully it's not on the floor somewhere. All right, let me find... All right, I gotta find something to unclog this with. Okay, so what I did is I folded my squares in. I'm just gonna glue. You can do 1 at a time, 2 at a time, 4 at a time, whatever. I prefer 4 at a time. And you're just going to lift that up and make sure those corners meet each other perfectly. Double check them. And then you're going to lift that middle tab to your bottom of your box. Do the same for this side. Making sure it's straight. Why do I like doing 4 at a time? Because I don't have to wait for drawing time. Sheer laziness. Because you have to hold it longer if you do 1 at a time. That's the real reason. Okay. So now you should have a bottom tray, and now you have this weird top looking thing. You're going to do the same thing. You're going to fold your flaps in, your tabs in. These used to be your squares. And you're going to glue that to the top. I need to cut mine a little bit because I did not do a great job cutting this. So, there we go. Okay. Go ahead and make sure, see how I'm lining it up right to that seam. So right to that score line. And same thing with this one. Okay, and we're going to give it a second to dry because we need it to be able to open and close. I like to kind of make my lid go back and forth just so it's used to being open and closed. Like so. Alright, now we're going to go ahead and put our little mini boxes in there. How do I want to do this? And I just have some random stuff in there. I have some tassels, some coffee and donut breads, some flowered bead things, and then a box of randomness. Oh, perfect. It fits perfectly. Okay. And that's it, my friends. That's your box. So again, the one that we oopsie daisied, just make sure, burnish it first. That's the line you need to cut. So see how mine has 2 score marks because I miscut my paper? It's fine, because when I cut this, no one's going to see it except for this tiny, when you open your box, it'll have that double score mark right here, or where this thumb is. It'll be right here. No one's going to care. So don't throw it away. Don't even worry about covering it because your top lid will cover it. Just make sure you make that the bottom. All right. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.